You know, when we talk about AI, our minds usually jump to, well, profits, right? Making things faster, more efficient. But what if I told you there's another AI revolution happening? One that's less about the bottom line and more about people. That's exactly what's unfolding in India. It's this incredible blueprint for a more inclusive AI. And we're going to dive right in. And it all kicks off with this really powerful question. It's not about code or algorithms, it's about something much more fundamental, much more human. Think about it. How would you actually give a voice to millions and millions of people? Because the number we're dealing with here is just staggering. 63 million. That's the estimated number of people in India with a significant hearing impairment. I mean, that's more than the entire population of many countries. It's this massive community that faces hurdles every single day. In school, at the doctors, at work. And this is the challenge that innovators in India are deciding to take on. So that leads us right into our first story, and it's a really good one. It's all about this amazing solution that's literally bridging the gap between silence and speech. Okay, so check this out. It's called Fifth Sense, and it's this mind-blowing wearable device from a startup named Glovatrix. The idea behind it is so simple, yet so powerful. It actually translates Indian Sign Language into spoken English in real time. But here's the kicker. It works both ways. It also translates spoken English back into text. So you're not just broadcasting, you're having a genuine two-way conversation. And what's so incredible about this is the leap forward it represents. You know, traditional aids like cochlear implants, they're amazing, for sure, but they usually need the user to have some level of hearing left. Fifth Sense is different. It's built for people with complete hearing and speech impairment. We're talking about opening up a whole new world of communication that just wasn't possible before. All right, so you're probably wondering, how does this magic actually happen? Well, it's a pretty neat three-step process. First, these sensors, in a glove or even a smartwatch, they capture all the detailed gestures of Indian Sign Language. Then a really smart AI engine gets to work, decoding all that data. And finally, and this is the really cool part, the system doesn't just give you a word-for-word translation. It actually uses natural language processing to create grammatically correct sentences. And, of course, it turns spoken words back into text. It's a perfect, seamless loop. And get this, we're not talking about some clunky, half-working prototype here. The system is 98% accurate. 98! That's an insane level of reliability. It means you can actually depend on it for real, everyday conversations. And this isn't just theory, it's already changing lives. Think about Ramesh, a waiter in Mumbai. He's now using Fifth Sense to take complicated orders all by himself. No need for a manager to step in and translate. Or take Anjali, a college student who used to have a tough time keeping up in class. Now she can follow every word of her lectures in real time. It's a total game changer for her education. So you see, the big takeaway here is that this is about so much more than just a cool piece of tech. It really captures this philosophy that's bubbling up all over India's tech scene. The idea that real, true innovation, it's not about who you exclude, it's about who you include. It's about bringing everyone along for the ride. But you know, Fifth Sense is just the tip of the iceberg. It's one awesome example of a much bigger trend. So let's kind of zoom out a bit and look at this whole ecosystem of AI innovation in India that's driven by a real sense of purpose. Okay, so there's this project called Adi Vaani. It's a government platform, and it's using AI to tackle language barriers for India's tribal communities. I mean, think about it. They're training AI models on local dialects and translating crucial stuff, like educational materials and health info, into languages like Gandhi and Santali. It's all about making sure that no matter what language you speak, you have access to the information you need. And then you've got Cognitii. This is a startup founded by folks who have personal experience with autism and ADHD, so they get it. They're building India's very first AI platform for special education. And this is so important. In India, something like 80% of kids with disabilities don't get diagnosed before they're 8 years old. So Cognitii is using AI for early screening and to create personalized learning tools to give these kids the best possible start. So when you look at it all together like this, you really start to see the pattern, right? Whether it's communication, language, or education, AI is being aimed like a laser at these really deep, systemic challenges around inclusion. It's literally using AI to build bridges, not walls. Now, these ground-level innovations are absolutely incredible, but it's important to note they aren't just popping up randomly. They're actually part of a much bigger, intentional national strategy, one that's creating the perfect environment for this kind of inclusive tech to grow. So let's pull back and look at that big picture. I mean, you've got everything from the Accessible India campaign to the massive India AI mission. There's this whole collection of government programs that are basically creating the fertile ground for these startups to thrive. They're providing the money, the structure, and most importantly, they're making it a national priority to build tech that serves everyone. A perfect example of this is the IndiaAI Mission. Seriously, this thing is huge. It's a national project to build one single AI platform that can translate stuff across all 22 of India's official languages and a ton of dialects on top of that. Just try to imagine a digital world where language is just not an issue anymore. That's the incredibly ambitious goal here. And this very unique, people-first approach is starting to get noticed on the world stage. At the recent India AI Impact Summit, India wasn't just showing off its tech. It was presenting a whole new way of thinking about AI to the entire world. At the very core of this philosophy are what they call the Three Sutras. It's a term from ancient texts that kind of means a guiding rule. And they are people, planet, and progress. Simple, right? People, making sure AI serves humans. Planet, making sure it's sustainable. And progress, making sure that progress is for everyone. And these principles get put into action through 7 focus areas, or chakras, another term from Indian philosophy that represents energy centers. If you look at this table, you'll see things like an inclusion chakra, which is all about social empowerment, and one for democratizing AI, which is about fair access for all. So this isn't just talk, you know? It's a complete, well-thought-out plan for building an AI ecosystem that actually works for society. And believe me, the world is sitting up and taking notice. Over 20 heads of state showed up for this summit. This was way more than just another tech conference. It was a serious global conversation about where AI is headed. The energy was just incredible. For the summit's Global Impact Challenges, they got more than 4,600 applications from over 60 countries. That right there tells you how much this vision of a more human-centered AI is connecting with people all over the planet. All right, so where does India go from here on its AI journey? And maybe more importantly, what can the rest of us learn from their approach? Well, experts like Dr. Shilpi Kapoor say that India is at this really crucial moment. The government's support has opened up a huge window of opportunity. The next big challenge? It's all about scale and making sure these amazing technologies are actually affordable and make sense in the daily lives of the people who need them most. And that really leaves us with one final big question to chew on. As we all wrestle with the tough ethical questions around AI, could India's model, the one that puts people and public good before pure profit, be the blueprint we've all been searching for? Could this be how we finally unlock AI's real potential for, well, for all of us?